Hey guys, welcome to Module 4. This module will run through March the 10th. It's another 2-week module. This will put us through up until um, spring break. So that's great news. You guys get a little bit of a break. In Module 3, we spent some time talking about your research questions, problem statements. I have looked at all those, graded them. There's a video in Module 3 providing feedback on those research questions, problem statements. In your feedback, you need to be sure and look at your feedback. In your feedback, if you have not received and approved at the top of that assignment, you need to resubmit that assignment based on the feedback. If you're not sure, even based on my feedback, reach out and talk to me about it. That is the document where you're solidifying your topic for your research proposal. So I think there was a little bit of confusion about the format of that assignment. So I think most everybody is going to be resubmitting. So take a look at that. Take a look at the video with my feedback on it. I think you'll find it helpful. But those need to be resubmitted as soon as possible. You really have to have your topic solidified before you complete the literature outline assignment, which is due in this module. It's due March 10th at the end of this module. So we really need to get those topics squared away. So that's one of the most important things that we have to address as soon as possible. We also, in this module, have a quiz and a discussion, as normal, and there is a little bit of reading this time. So there's chapters 9, 10, and 11 in the text, and then there's also reading in the workbook, part 4, and then the sections are identified as 8, 8A, and 8B. So keep those in the front of your mind. That's also due at the end of the module on March the 10th. Okay. And if you're struggling with your topic for your research question, please just email me and schedule a one-on-one meeting. And with this class and with other classes, I've already spoken to a few of you about your topics, but I find it really helpful if we can just have a quick conversation, and we can do it in the evening or the weekend, during the day, whatever works for you. So just keep that in mind. All right. There is some additional information in the module this week about reliability and validity. There's a really great video in there that'll help you understand reliability and validity a little bit, because we're going to be talking about that in the reading. There's also some video on some sampling and statistical information, because we're going to start moving into some of that in understanding, some of those statistical analysis that may come along with your research. I'll try to post a video a little bit later in the week about measurement that may help you guys with some of the content. I know it's a little heavy, so that may help explain some of the content within the reading. But overall, that'll help you learn more about research as a process. So keep that in mind. But like I said, let's get the research question problem statements resubmitted and identified and approved, and we can move forward, because the sooner we can get the topics approved through that assignment, you'll be able to start your literature outline, which is going to take some time. So I would suggest, getting those topics in as soon as possible, because that literature outline will take you some time. Now, keep in mind, be sure to read the directions on that assignment. There's a link to that assignment in this module. However, that's more detailed it's under major assignments. So this is a part, moving towards your research proposal at the end of the semester. But keep in mind, this is not a full literature review. So don't forget, it's not a full literature review. This is just an outline. This is really an organizational assignment to help you get your literature organized and the major topics that you want to address through the literature. Okay. Now, keep in mind, when we're thinking about a literature review, we think about it from a broad perspective down to a narrow perspective. I always think about it as an upside-down triangle. So here's the top of your triangle, and you're moving down, and here's the point. Okay, at the top, you're going to talk about your topic in the most broad sense. those problem statements that you have, that might be, where you talk about it in a very broad sense. And then we move down through the literature, telling the reader a story about what the literature says, helping them understand how we got from this big problem down to what we're researching, and you're thinking, you talk about your independent variable, your dependent variable, and then how they interact. So the reader can understand the overall problem and then how you got to your specific research question. Why it makes sense for your research to be a part of this overall problem. It's maybe a solution to that overall problem. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at it. So we're not asking you to do your full literature review, so you have all that content there. It's just the point where you're going to outline that and just kind of help yourself have some ideas as to how you're going to move through that with the different literature sources that you find out there. Now, keep in mind that what we consider as good sources for this type of, for your research, when you're looking at the literature, just random websites are not good sources. Wikipedia is not a good source. I know sometimes we quote the dictionary, but that's not really a primary source we need to address. You're looking for journal articles, peer-reviewed journal articles. The library has several databases you can use. SAGE has a lot of social work related and social justice related articles in there. If you're not sure how to use the library databases, please reach out. I can give you some links, and the library has some great tutorials on how to use those databases, so utilize those. There's a lot of good stuff in there. So you need, peer-reviewed journals, journal articles, information from major professional organizations like the National Association of Social Workers, or from federal government information, from federal websites like the census, or the I don't know, the Federal Register. There's all those primary sources that you need to look at, and not something that is reliable. Okay, so those are the type of sources you should be looking for your literature outline. So I hope this is a little bit helpful in clarifying what's going on for Module 4. But if you guys have any questions, please reach out. So enjoy Module 4.